Alrighty guys, welcome to your 22nd GML beginners tutorial, and I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit more on if statements, and there's some things that I didn't cover and I figured that I might as well cover them now. So we're going to add an event, create event, add some code in, and we're going to make a variable. MyVar equals true. So we just made a variable called MyVar and we gave it the value of true. And now we're going to make a new event. Add event, key press space, and then add some code. Now this is what we're going to put. If MyVar brackets show / message. Hey, I like bacon. So, this piece of code will work just fine. If statements actually only check if a condition is true. So in our case, now what's the condition? That's something, in this case it would be something after if. So if health is equal to 100, that's a condition. If this condition is met, and if the right conditions and the right circumstances are happening, however I can word this that would make sense to you. If this condition is met, then I want you to go ahead and do what's in these brackets. So actually, say we're checking health, for example. We would, what this statement is actually doing in English is saying, alright, if health is equal to 100, then go ahead and do this. So actually, it's just saying, alright, is all of this true? So it's like, let me put it like this. If health equals 100 equals true, then go ahead and do whatever you want after that. So that's all if statements do. They just check if a condition is true. So say we have something that deals with true and false, like in our condition we have our variable myVar, and we give it the value of true. We wouldn't have to put if myVar equals true. We would just have to put if myVar and then show message. And I'll go ahead and show you that this does work just fine. Press space. Hey, I like bacon. Alright. So this works just fine. Now, what if we wanted to say, alright, if myVar is false, then I want you to show this message. You would think, alright, I just put if myVar equals false, then show this message. That would work just fine. But an alternative way you could do this is, instead of writing that out, you could just put if myVar, then you would just put your statements after that. So let's go to our create event and go ahead and give myVar the value of false, and then we have our space event here in our code. So this is saying if myVar, then show this message. So it's saying if myVar is equal to false, then go ahead and do what's going on there. So that's just another way of doing it. Instead of going if myVar equals false, then go ahead and do this. You would just put an exclamation mark before the condition. And this doesn't just work with true and false variables. This can work with anything. So it could be if health equals 100. So what's this saying? It's basically saying, alright, if health equals 100 equals false. This is basically saying, alright, if health is equal to anything but 100, then do this and this and this. So that's all this code right here does. When you put an exclamation mark before a condition, it's checking if it's false instead of true. So it's saying, alright, is health equal to anything but 100? Then I want you to go ahead and do this. So let's go ahead and change this to myVar and take this out. So this is just saying if myVar is equal to false, then show message. And again, in our create event, our variable we set to false. So this will work just fine. Click space. Hey, I like bacon. So those are two little things to keep in mind. So we could put like myVar equals 100, my other var equals 10. So I just added another variable called myOtherVar, and I gave it the value of 10. So this is what I could put to make all this work and add these variables in together. If myVar, so this is saying if myVar is equal to false, and my other var equals 10, then it's going to go ahead and do this little statement here. It's going to show the message. You can still add these ands, and you can add the ors, or whatever else, and it would still work. Just because you have the exclamation mark here, it doesn't mean it carries on to any other condition. So this would work just fine. For the sake of simplicity, let me change this instead of 10. Let me change this to true. So my other var is equal to true now instead of 10. So we could be like, my other var, this would work if exclamation mark my var and my other var. So this is saying if my var is equal to false and my other var is equal to true, then go ahead and do this. And it's just a heck of a lot easier than writing if my var equals false and if my var equals true. So I just wanted to really, what I was trying to get the point across, what I really wanted to tell you guys was about the exclamation mark, because we're going to be using this a lot. You're going to have times when you're going to want to check if score equals, 10, then I want you to do this and this and this and this, and then else if exclamation mark score 20, and do this and this and this. I'm kind of tired as I'm writing this tutorial, so if it doesn't make sense, then deal with it. So there's going to be times when you want to check if something is not actually true. So if you want to put like if exclamation mark can / shoot, then bam, bam, bam. So those are just ways you can use it. And we're going to be getting into more in this coming up, because I'm going to be showing you how to make platform engines, and you will be using this.